Hey, this is Patrick, and on this episode, I'm going to show you how to find a pawpaw tree. Hey, we've got some showers today, so I thought it'd be a good time to go scout out some pawpaw trees. Stick around. What you're going to want to look for is a spot where hills are adjacent to creeks or rivers. This is where I've had the best luck to find these. I'm on my way to a metro park, sort of show you what to look for when you're searching for pawpaw. I haven't even checked the weather or a radar. It looks like there's a bunch of rain coming, but I got a poncho and there's nothing like walking in the rain while hiking, or hiking in the rain. So I'm here at the Taylorsville Dam, which is part of the Five Rivers Metro Park. This is a good place to find pawpaw. We're going to take this trail over here. It meanders along a ridge through a couple of small hollers, and then it walks on down to the river, and from there you can go left, and that's where I find pawpaw. As you can tell, we've just got into the woods and already have seen pawpaw. I want to get a little deeper in, away from the trailhead, so I don't disturb folks on their hike. I think the rain's decided to join me. Left my water in the car. Oh no, got it. Let me get my poncho up. Just... I love these little moments where it don't seem like it's something that great, and it was almost hard to push myself and become motivated to get out here and do this. But this is how you make the most out of every moment. I don't claim to be an expert on anything, by the way. Everything I've ever learned, as far as a skill that I have or anything that I show on here, I've learned on YouTube. Just a fun little fact. But yeah, it might not seem like a lot. I could have sat at home and had a whole smorgasbord of entertainment at my disposal, but it's good to get out in the woods and be alone. It's good to not have any type of influence on your mind. It's good to just exist and to react and think naturally without influence. We are here. So this is the Great Miami River. Here's where it's dammed. This is all an embankment leading down to the river. And these are all tributaries that flow into the river, springs and whatnot, runoff from fields. But this area here is like the golden zone for finding pawpaw. If you come over here, that's all we see over here. So here's the pawpaw leaf. They alternate at the stem. And they're these big frond looking, lobed, elephant ear looking things. There's not many leaves that look like this, except for maybe the elk. Or an elm, sorry, not an elk. The best pawpaw fruit I've tasted and have had are the ones that have fallen off the tree naturally. But deer love pawpaw. And typically within a few days of the good ones falling off the trees, the deer will have cleared them out. Gotten to the spot where the path meets the river. You can see the river just over there. But this area is nothing but pawpaw for the most part. And this tree behind me has a really nice fruit on it, and I'll show it to you. Last year I remember this area of pawpaw being further ahead in the season than the rest. But these trees seem to be too young to produce fruit. Just an incredibly big spider there. Yeah, as I said, I don't think any of these trees in here are old enough to produce. The leaves provide a neat atmosphere. The shade, it's very shady. Has a weird vibe. Oh look, there's a spider dangling off of my GoPro. Ugh. Alright, let's move on. So obviously you're gonna want to see me eat a pawpaw and cut one open. That's right. But unfortunately I'm not finding any that are ready for harvest. So this either may be a two-part video, or I might wait until I get one and splice it into one video. We'll see. But yeah, this is all these are pawpaw. This is a pawpaw tree. This only applies to folks within the range of the species, of the genus Asamina triloba. I'll put it up on the screen now. It's the Miami River. It's pretty overgrown this way. So just take note of the terrain I'm in. It's a slope leading into a river or a stream. And these are just growing on the side of the hill. You can see a fruit here. It's just not ready yet. You want them to be very soft, like an avocado when it's ready to be eaten. And if it's on the tree like that, then yes, pick it. But the best ones I have found are on the ground. This would be wasted if you were to pick this off, because the fruit's not ripe yet. And it seems like the fruit ripens improperly when it's pulled off of the tree. So now that we know how to identify a pawpaw based off of its leaves, the pattern, and where they grow, how do we know if it's good to pick? Well, if it's hard it's not good to be picked. The best I've seen them is when they're on the ground, and you have to beat, and sometimes they'll be cracked, but you have to beat the local deer population because they'll eat them all up. If you pull this off now, it'll ripen improperly, in my experience. If I were to cut this in half, it'd be white flesh that's super hard. So this is the tree here that is producing that fruit. Human rubbish. Leave no trace. From the looks of it, there's going to be no shortage of pawpaw this year. The trick is beating everyone else to the patch. And honestly, I just like to eat one or two. That makes for a successful find, in my opinion. And they're just all over the place here now. Small ones, big ones. This is a great patch here. I'll turn the camera around. See these patches where it's all barren? The culprit are these black walnuts. It's a humongous tree. Typically I'll take a picture of the trunk and that'll tell me through an app what type of a tree it could be. It's pretty accurate nowadays. Just watching this spider drag a corpse on his web, that's terrifying. Anyways, but yeah, there's just pawpaw trees galore out here. This is one. And I've seen some with a stem, like the stem the size of like my thumb, producing fruit. So I don't know how early they fruit. I don't know anything about the actual tree. I just know what it looks like and about what time to come get them and eat them. The stinging nettle is overgrown in this area. It seems like the pawpaw and the stinging nettle have a weird synergy. And then it just makes for a treat when you're shaking a tree, a pawpaw falls and then rolls into a nettle patch. So we've got all this stinging nettle here, and I learned a cool technique from, I think it was Ray Mears.
To grasp a nettle, I think, is to...
How to process this quickly. People use the fibers in these plants for making baskets and cordage and all sorts of other crafts. And also you can eat the leaves because they're packed full of nutrients. But I'll show you how that trick is done. So real quickly, first you can take your knife and clear away all the big stuff. It's actually flowering too. Isn't that fantastic? So we have a branch of stinging nettle, and it's covered with tiny fine hairs. You can't see it on the camera, but trust me. What you do is press in with your thumb and really quickly slide down. Press in with your thumb, real quickly slide down. You want to go from the bottom to the top. If you hesitate, you'll get stung. That's basically it. And you can pound them in half and break them. Fibers come right off. I think that about wraps it up. Ooh, cool. Just walked into the spider from earlier. I think that about wraps this one up. I know Pawpaw are here. They're getting good, and it'll be about a month before they're ready. I'll come back out here in probably 2 to 3 weeks and see if I can find some Pawpaw to eat. Just gotta walk back to the car up a hill, which is always fun. My hand's fine. I about slipped on this hill. All right, running start. The 5 Rivers Metro Parks do a really good job. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. And as always, thanks for watching. Absolutely do not like these shoes because of the heel, but they're great because it's raining and I didn't want to get any other shoes messed up.